Welcome back to GP today. With a commanding 83-point lead in the championship, Marc Marquez returns to Brno for the first time since the Czech circuit rejoined the calendar. But despite his advantage, the Ducati star isn't letting up. Marc reflects on risk, adaptation, and why he's not underestimating anyone, especially not Jorge Martin. Pecco Bagnaia greets Brno's long-awaited return with measured optimism. After a turbulent first half of the season marked by many ups and downs, the Italian enters one of his favorite venues, and one uniquely suited to the Ducati's strengths, determined to rebuild momentum and re-establish himself among the frontrunners. Marco Bezzecchi arrives in Brno brimming with enthusiasm, yet unafraid to confront his recent setback at Sachsenring. The Italian sees the Czech Grand Prix's new asphalt and flowing layout as both a challenge and an opportunity to propel Aprilia to the front, while drawing on lessons from his mistakes in Germany. After months of recovery, doubt, and contractual drama, Jorge Martin is back, both on the bike and in Aprilia's long-term plans. Cleared to race at Brno, the Spaniard used his solo press conference to confirm he'll stay with Aprilia in 2026, closing the chapter on a tense dispute with the factory and marking his return with renewed optimism and humility. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Leading the standings and riding a 4-race win streak, could Marc afford to relax? The truth is yes. We're more than halfway and further ahead than I expected. But there are still 11 races to go. What happened in the first 11 could happen in reverse. I have to keep the same intensity. Marc Marquez statement. Despite the cushion, Marc is taking nothing for granted. He emphasizes that the moment he's made mistakes in the past was when he relaxed too much. His calculated approach means he won't chase every victory recklessly. Obviously, I never want to take risks or ride like crazy without thinking. If others are faster one weekend, I'll accept 10 points over 0. With Brno returning after 4 years and resurfaced, what's the approach? I've never ridden a Ducati here, and the asphalt is new. It's one of the most beautiful and demanding tracks on the calendar, and I'm really looking forward to it. He recalls 2014, when his legendary 10-race win streak was broken at Brno, as a humbling example. This time, he plans to stick to a familiar base setup and adapt as needed, especially with the rear ride height device being critical at this flowing, braking-heavy circuit. It's a track where stability is key. With the new asphalt, we may risk more aggressive settings, but we'll start with our base. I'm curious to see how the rear device works here. It'll be important. How does Marc decide when to push and when to manage? If I'm at the limit and others are still escaping, that's when I need to back off. The biggest sign is a scare. If I nearly crash, that's my cue to dial it back. Marc's matured sense of racecraft is evident. He views scares, moments where a crash nearly happens, as his boundary indicators. This season, he's shown more patience, especially in moments where championship management trumps glory. Jorge Martin's return is a major talking point. How does Marc see it? Yes, we've met on bikes. On a bicycle, he's stronger than me. But seriously, I hope he has a normal return. It's great for Aprilia, for the championship, and for him. He'll be fighting for wins soon for sure. Marc isn't just being polite. He knows Martin has the raw pace and hunger to upset the status quo in the second half of the season. With Aprilia pushing hard and Martin recovering form, the title fight could get tighter. With 11 races remaining, Marc Marquez may look invincible on paper, but he's not letting it get to his head. Brno marks a new chapter, with fresh asphalt, fierce rivals, and the return of Jorge Martin to stir the pot. Marc's calculated mindset, respect for risk, and leadership mentality show exactly why he's on top, and why he's not planning to slow down anytime soon. Bagnaia brims with excitement over Brno's resurfaced asphalt, and its flowing, high-speed character. I was really looking forward to being here. It's one of the best circuits we visit. Some sectors remind you of Mugello. With the new asphalt, I've seen laps 4 seconds quicker than before. It'll be fun, Pecco Bagnaia said. From generous camber changes to elevation shifts, Brno rewards precision and momentum, qualities that can play to Bagnaia's fluid riding style and Ducati's raw engine performance. Despite early season struggles, Bagnaia trusts the Bezzechi as the benchmark. We've always been strong here, except in 2020 when Binder scored a perfect race. The extra grip should make us even faster. Yamaha might fight up front, but we'll see how they handle the climbs and straights. Armed with both data and confidence gleaned from Germany's podium, Bagnaia knows the Ducati's top-end power can tip the scales at Brno's long back straight. Rather than chase instant victories, Pecco outlines a step-by-step plan to close the gap. I'll give my all, as always. If we start strong tomorrow and nail our sessions, the first step is to fight for second place, and then we'll see if we can challenge for the win. It's a pragmatic blueprint born of self-awareness. Rebuild confidence, score big points, then refocus on top-step finishes once rhythm returns. With Jorge Martin back from injury, Bagnaia urges patience for his fellow countrymen. For Jorge, it's like starting over. He shouldn't pressure himself with goals, think of it as riding a new bike. He needs to relax and enjoy it again. I'm happy to have him here. The championship benefits from his return. His advice reflects maturity, recognizing that raw speed only translates to results when paired with mental ease and consistent laps. Bagnaia candidly assesses his year to date. If I rated myself against 2024, it'd be a 5. Considering where I started, maybe a 6. The last 3 GPs have shown progress. My potential so far has often meant P3, which matches my championship position. But I know we can do better. By focusing on data collection, tire management, and setup stability, Bagnaia aims to convert incremental gains into podium regularity, and eventually, race wins. Brno's blend of speed, flow, and technical demand sets the stage for Bagnaia's mid-season revival. With realistic goals, team cohesion strengthening, and a favorite circuit under his belt, the Italian is ready to take the first step, back toward the front, and then, hopefully, the top. Bezzechi can't hide his excitement over Brno's return and fresh surface. I'm really happy to be here in Brno. The track is incredible, and they've renewed the asphalt. The lack of data could be a positive, or the opposite. We have to try to make it work in our favor, Marco Bezzecchi said. Once a Moto2 standout here, Bezzechi views Brno's elevation changes and cambered corners as a playground for Aprilia's agility, if he can quickly unlock setup on the unseen surface. Still smarting from his late crash in Germany, Bezzecchi has turned self-critique into motivation. I don't hide my disappointment at the German GP, but I made that mistake and I've analyzed it so it doesn't happen again. At the same time, there's positivity in the work we're doing. That blend of humility and resolve defines his approach. Learn fast, adapt quicker, especially when Aprilia's development pace demands relentless progress. With Jorge Martin back from injury, Bezzecchi notes both challenge and support. I'm happy for him and for Aprilia. He's lacking mileage, but he's strong and fast, and he'll help us. The bike has improved, though the DNA remains the same. Martin's insights and internal rivalry are set to accelerate both riders. Bezzecchi welcomes the extra data and drive a returning champion brings to the Faenza factory. As the sole non-Ducati at the sharp end, Bezzecchi underlines Aprilia's unique position. I'm happy to be up there, but I don't pay attention to other bikes. I give my all to stay near the front, otherwise I wouldn't have fun. That laser focus on internal benchmarks keeps Aprilia charging forward, rather than chasing the exhaust pipes of more established contenders. Rain looms as a wildcard, one Bezzecchi relishes yet respects. I always have fun in the wet, but the margin for error is tiny, especially on a new track. If I need to adapt, I'll do it quickly. Whether dry or damp, Bezzecchi's blend of ambition, introspection, and adaptability could make Aprilia's Czech weekend a breakthrough, or at least a declaration of intent. For Marco Bezzecchi, Brno is more than a return, it's a proving ground. Armed with fresh tarmac, hard-won lessons, and a teammate back in full swing, Aprilia's rising star is ready to lead the charge and ensure that ambition is matched by performance. All eyes in Brno were on Jorge Martin, who made it official. He's staying with Aprilia for another year. It's been a very difficult 6 or 7 months, but I'm happy to be here, back on the bike, and to announce I'll continue with Aprilia in 2026. Jorge Martin's statement. From multiple injuries to a spiraling relationship with Aprilia, Martin was on the brink of walking away. Instead, he's chosen to rebuild and double down on a project he now sees with clear eyes and belief. Martin admits a difficult internal tug-of-war nearly pushed him to leave Aprilia. After the injuries, I had doubts, not just about my future, but about myself. I had to decide, try this bike again or walk away. In the end, we fought, but I've chosen to stay. Marco and Aprilia are doing a fantastic job, and I'm not an idiot. I see the potential. This wasn't a smooth decision. Contract clauses were disputed, options like Honda were explored. But it all ended where it began, with the rider and team choosing to fight forward, not apart. After a strong test in Misano, Martin says he's returned stronger, fitter, and more determined. I feel better than ever, physically and mentally. I've worked on myself. I used this time to grow, and I think I'm more prepared than before. Though he lacks recent track time, Martin insists he's not just healed, he's evolved. And with Brno's sweeping corners and Aprilia's clear progress, he's keen to show it. Martin downplays regrets about the contract saga but doesn't deny the emotional toll. I haven't apologized, because I don't feel I have to. I did what I thought was right for my future. But I want to build something now. If they need me to improve the relationship, I will. The wounds may not be fully healed, but the will to work together again is mutual. Martin likens the relationship to a roller coaster, fractured by mistrust but still worth repairing. Martin opened up about the trauma from his Qatar crash, and the perspective it forced on him. You're never prepared to be close to dying. Only my father and girlfriend really knew what I was going through. Coming back shows me how much courage I have, and gives me even more motivation. Far from dramatic hyperbole, Martin's words reflect a rider who faced existential questions, and emerged more focused than ever on purpose, performance, and personal truth. As Jorge Martin returns to action in Brno, the focus shifts from boardroom battles to racetrack redemption. With his contract drama resolved and Aprilia's bike now a weapon in capable hands, the question isn't if he can contend, it's how soon. Thanks for watching ZNGP today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!